My name is Harold Steiner. I'm a research and development scientist for MilliporeSigma. I first heard about COVID-19 out of stories floating around on the internet late December 2019 about a bad infection that was going around China. And this sounded different. People were very worried about it. It seemed bad at the time. I remember arguing with my wife about it. I was saying, "Oh, this sounds bad. We should, stock up on food in case it comes here." And she said, "That'll never happen. We'll be fine." And well, I got to say, "I told you so" on that one, but it was not the best outcome. When COVID-19 started affecting office life for us, we were put on shift work, which was not something that we ever did before. EHS wanted the lab to have low density in it, so we were working part-time during the week. Some of us would come in Sunday through Wednesday, some of us would work Wednesday through Saturday, and this meant that for over a year there were colleagues that I never saw, or I might have seen them in passing occasionally. It was difficult. We had colleagues who retired and we only got to do video conference retirement parties. It was difficult. These were people that I sat alongside for years and barely got to say a proper goodbye. So it was difficult. And of course, when all of that came to an end, it was interesting because we had been working in the lab part-time and at home part-time, and then everything comes to a close and suddenly, oh, we've got to be in the office 5 days a week for the entire day? I don't know if I can do this again. So COVID-19 did change life in our lab a little bit. Because of the nature of our work, a lot of what we do is support work for other researchers, and there was a lot of research that was ready to take place. So we were trying to work very hard on the projects that were going to make it possible to characterize the outcome of this disease for so many people. The problem in all of that, of course, is that everybody was doing all sorts of work, and so research supplies were hard to come by, right? Tips, gloves, plates, tubes. You don't have those, you can't work, and everybody wanted them in bulk all of a sudden. So it was really touchy for a long time. There were days that we wondered if we were going to be able to get anything done because we didn't have supplies. Now, thankfully, it never came to that, but it was tricky for a long time. It was really fascinating to see how so many people dove into the COVID-19 research problem so quickly. In a way, everybody became an expert on this new virus, right? Whether they wanted to or not. And for a lot of, I know I heard stories from a lot of people that this was just a question of funding. This was this field getting funding right now, so this was, hey, let's do that. But at the same time, it has answered so many basic research questions that were tricky to pull off, but now you had a model that people could work with, and it had really high priority. It had a sense of urgency even, and so it's advanced areas that we didn't think it could have taken years to flesh out, and people were just making discoveries quickly and concurrently, and it's been fascinating to see how so many basic questions have gotten answered quickly, but also just to see that everybody in the industry, in academia and government were laser focused on this. It's nice to know that in the event of an emergency like this, everybody knows what is important and what isn't. One of the big things that surprised me going through the pandemic, going through all of the closures with COVID-19, we had our lab shut down, for part of the time. We were working half the week, we were working in shifts, and it just surprised me how much human contact we lost out on. We were all being separated, we were all being asked to distance. Don't spend a lot of time around people, don't talk to them, get in and out of the office as quickly as possible, do your work and then go home. And it was a lonely experience. You don't tend to think about the human element in science, you tend to think very much about the work, but without that human element, without that ability to connect with your coworkers, with your friends, it just almost doesn't seem worth it sometimes. It was very difficult to see how the culture around the workplace changed. Groups that would eat lunch together stopped meeting together. In-person meetings were gone, and most of them aren't even coming back in our workplace. It's been difficult to see, but things have been turning around, and I'm hopeful for the future because I think a lot of people realize just how much they need the people around them to make the workplace feel comfortable and someplace where they want to be day in and day out.